Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Area 312 Rock and Metal Podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts Rex and Mike. Today, we're welcoming back some friends of a band that we respect. We have Larry Worley, Gary Hanson, and Chris Sorensen. We respect Rod also and Eddie, and we don't know if we respect Gary or not. So for very reasons.
A little iffy.
Hey.
Guys, thanks for being here. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Man, we're honored to be here.
Where are you guys reporting from today?
We're actually at a family member's house in Costa Mesa that I haven't seen in a lot of years. So we took the opportunity while we were here in California to see some family, and it's awesome. We got to surprise some of our family members that we were coming into town. So
And we just
had
a fantastic. So Larry's family, we have to, every time we show up, we have like the Worley breakfast, man. It's of these amazing egg burritos, and it is just like, you just can't, it's incredible. It's just a ritual, man. It is so wonderful.
I wish my mom would, patent those things and
it's just
get them out there. They're good.
Worley burritos. Look for them at your grocer's freezer. No.
Yeah, there you go.
So
From Worley World.
So, guys, did y'all go to NAMM?
Yeah,
We did.
We did.
We're going back in a little while too.
Yeah.
Bringing any new family members home with you? I'm talking about, some Les Pauls or some Strats or.
We're having to stop Larry. We just got endorsed by a wonderful company. They're called Vintage Brand Guitars. And
amazing. They're
these
awesome.
things are just off the hook. The design of them and everything like that, they're reminiscent of like older vintage guitars that are very expensive. These guys even age these things, whatever you want. But I'm just trying to. Larry's just gone absolutely berserk.
I know. I've got 3 already.
He'd bring the whole darn thing home if he could.
Nice.
But we're really excited. They're the ones that got us in, and they're just a wonderful company to work with.
And we got to meet Trevor Wilkinson.
Yeah, he's for the people that are into guitars, man. Wilkinson makes just wonderful replacement parts for newer and vintage guitars and stuff like that. And
he's a legend.
Yeah, he's funny too.
He's great.
Very cool.
Guys, if anyone out there wants to check it out, I did some shots of photos of Chris and Larry in front of the Wilkinson booth and those amazing guitars. So
yeah.
So if you guys want to go on Facebook, that's what those guitars are. Those are vintage guitars.
It was the vintage booth.
I tried to hit them with sticks.
This is why we don't take them anywhere.
Vintage. Sorry. I tried to hit them with sticks, and they didn't sound very good. So I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna hit that out there.
They didn't like that very well either.
Yeah, they weren't happy.
They almost called it.
When you hear the sound of coming, hear the drummer drumming, won't you join together with the band? We don't move in any particular direction, make no collections, won't you join together with the band?
Vintage Guitars US, I think, is if you go to their website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, congratulations on your endorsement.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so awesome. Speaking of vintage, let's talk about something. I did the math here, guys. Speaking of vintage, I did the math. Your first full release of Fear Not, guys, is just 1 year shy of being 30 years old
Oh my gosh.
at this time right now. So the first Fear Not album that came out back in '93, it's just 1 year shy of being 30 years old. So, I'm not saying who might be vintage here, but
we'll be the first to tell you.
I really feel fortunate enough to have that. When we got that record deal, I was 12 years old. And
well, here's
I was
the thing.
17.
Yeah.
You have time-worn classics, things that go down in the history books as classics. And then you have something else that we call instant classics. And that brings us to today's reason why we're here actually is because, guys, let's talk about this wonderful album, Fields of Sorrow. Guys, I'm ecstatic. Of the 8 songs I've heard, they were wonderful. And congratulations on Fields of Sorrow. I know it's been a long time in the making, so tell us about it, guys. Tell us your thoughts about Fields of Sorrow.
Go ahead, bud.
So one of the things when you go in with a label, a lot of times they send a producer in, and it's awesome because it brings out a lot of just incredible things
With the producer.
with producer and stuff. But this time we produced the album ourselves, and we had in our thought process was, you know what, there's gonna be no law, no rules. So whatever you hear in your head is what we're gonna put down, and that's the way they used to just do it in the old days, man. You know, you didn't have to, oh well, you know, these songs have to sound exactly the same or whatever. Man, there's a chemistry that just brings that around. So, but we were just like, man, whatever you hear, you know, this is what we're gonna do. So this is like the truest sense of what Fear Not is. We just brought in, because, you know, obviously we're older, we've all gone and evolved musically, but there's still such a chemistry in this band that it's just incredible. And I feel like it really shines through on this album. Because, you know, again, we were able to put down what was in our head directly onto what's on the album, and we're very, very proud of what just went down.
And we were under no time constraints.
Yep.
You know, we weren't on a clock or anything. So like, you know, basically how the process worked was, I would, you know, basically write the structure of the song. I would send it off to Kyle Simpson, who is our producer,
Engineer,
you know,
master engineer.
He's incredible, and he brings out the most amazing tones. We love this guy. And he would just kind of do his thing, you know, and then send it back, and then I'd send it to the guys, and then they would hear it, and then they would start listening to figure out their parts, right, or what they wanted to bring to the table. And we didn't have that, you know, back on the Fear Not record. It was basically, you know, I mean, I would write a song then, you know, and I'm surprised these guys are still even with me after that, because, you know, I would just like, here's the song, here's how I want you to play the parts. But, you know, like if I said, Gary, I want you to play this, but then I'd go, but bring the Hanson feel to it, right? You know, but I mean, I had the song in my head. It was not like that at all in this. I'm like, you guys are way more talented than I am. Why am I stifling you guys? And, you know, it's like, so Gary just would bring his drum parts. Chris would fly out and he'd come in, because I have a home studio. He would come in and we'd go into the studio and we would just work his parts. He would have the ideas worked out. But like he was saying, when we got together, it's like, you know, the Holy Spirit just came in that room.
Yeah.
And he would just go, he would play his part that he had, and he'd go, wait a minute. He goes, rewind that. I come up and he'd play something, and I'm just like, he goes, you think I had to do that again? I'm like, are you kidding me? That was amazing. You know? So we just had that freedom of being able to just work whatever we felt was, you know, was coming out at that time. We didn't feel like we were rushed at all. Like, okay, we only got till 10 o'clock, you know, so we better get something down, you know. It was just awesome the way this whole album came together. And like he's saying, we had no pressure. We just felt like however the song came out, you know, we didn't want to write just one certain style. It's like, however this song came out is how it came out.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, you know, God, just bring it, just do your thing. And we did. We just let him just go, and we couldn't be more happier than, you know, the end result is just like, if nobody likes this album at all, we're just so happy with it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's good because it was just for God anyways, you know? So if that makes sense.
And my 2 cents is 2 things. As Larry said, there was no time constraint, so I got to work on these songs. And then when it was time to go in the studio, I had an amazing drum guy who's actually the engineer, but he's also an amazing drummer. He's also a working drum tech on the road. And we got to go in the studio, and just, it didn't matter. You know, I would have 3 songs ready to go, but if I only got 1 done, that was it. So there was no rush. There was no, I mean, Larry was on the Zoom call once in a while, but there was really nobody telling me what not to do. There was only people in the studio telling me, hey, try this, try that, hey, do this. And
it was all encouragement.
It was all encouragement.
Yep.
Exactly. It was all positive reinforcement. It wasn't, hey, you got 1 more take and you know, you got to pay us again, whatever.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So it was, or hey, you know, if we got a drummer that does all our records, so if you can't cut this in the next take, then we're going to call in the studio guy. So it was really cool to be in that situation. And then the other thing is, since he's not here, Eddie Green was just anointed. You know what I mean?
Man.
We did a concert in Chakotah, Oklahoma, mid album, and something happened bonding in the band. I mean, Eddie was always a part of the band since the beginning, since he came in, but there was a bonding, there was an openness, there was a candidness that came out in all of our lives, prompted by the Holy Spirit. I know that for sure. And that opened doors, and God just poured lyrics that came from all of us, but we didn't even know what he was going to write, and it would just come out. He would send it out, and we would just be like, I would just get chills and go, oh my gosh, this song is just exactly what people need to hear, and what it was amazing. And then the vocal duality between Larry and Eddie on this record, I think it really brought the old Fear Not with the new, because Larry's singing on a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
You'll hear him in the background, but melodically and just structure wise, it's got Larry's writing all over it, but it's got Eddie's twang and Eddie's stank, as I guess you'd call it.
I wouldn't say twang, man. That guy just, like, there's some stuff that he
is crazy.
He hits.
Oh yeah, he just
chills.
Yeah, he killed it. He blew us all away.
Yep.
So that was it. Not only sonically, but spiritually and lyrically, just anointed.
I don't know if I said this on the last time that we spoke, but I really believe everybody brought their A game, on this. Everybody. I mean, Gary did some stuff that was just, for me, bass and drums are it for me. Even though I'm a guitar player and singer and stuff, I love the bass and I love drums, and he would send me the tracks back and my jaw would hit the floor. I'm just like, where did this guy come from? And even Chris was one time, I don't know what song it was. I think it was on the song that you wrote.
Into the Grave.
Into the Grave.
Yeah.
And immediately he calls me up and he goes, dude, did you hear that lick?
That was, I got to set this up. It was first thing in the morning. So I'm getting my cup of coffee and I'm listening to, Larry just sent me the tracks overnight. And I'm listening. I just took a sip of coffee and it was almost like a comedy thing, because all of a sudden, right after the lead, there's a break, and man, Gary hit this drum fill, and it's like I almost spit coffee through my nose. I just was not expecting it, but it was just so phenomenal. I had to rewind it a couple of times to hear it. Man, I was just like, wow.
From my listening experience, and again, Mike and you guys blessed Mike and Rex and myself with an 8-song preview. You guys are the vessels, and God brought it, and He brought it through you guys. And I'm going to tell you, what I heard sounded very cohesive. And anyway, we're here to celebrate this with you guys, friends. What I want you to know. We always have to record ahead of time for our viewers out there. You know that we record ahead of time and then we release in a queue. Today is the 4th of June, 2022. When this releases in queue, it will be, let's see here, July the 9th of 2022. And that means the day before, on July the 8th, Fields of Sorrow has hit the street for one day. And so I know it's going to be making waves. It already has for those of us who've been graced with the preview. Roxxrecords.com, ROXX records.com is where you go to order this album. And it's wonderful.
I'm going under, trapped in the current, drowning in the waves so high. Reach beneath and save me. Now I'm caught in the riptide.
Guys, let's start off with the cover really quick. Scott Waters, we all know and appreciate and love Scott. He always does a dynamite job. Tell us about this cover that he did for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, we were really debating on what song we wanted to go with as a title track, and then kind of base the artwork off of that. I mean, we debated on the song Beautifully Broken, Riptide, you know, and
Struggle
then
was
first
song already released.
And then this song came about, you know, and I had the song musically done for a while, and then it took a while for Eddie to be able to come over, you know, scheduling this stuff to cut the vocals on it. And then when he did, lyrically, when it was finished, because he almost every one of the songs that we had written, he would have an idea. I had the song title for this, and I'm like, I just feel strong about this song title. I don't know why. And then when he got in the studio that day, he really didn't have any lyrics, and I just kind of had a melody in my head. And I'm like, how about this melody? And I'd sing this melody. And then as soon as I was done, he'd go sing it again. And I'd sing that melody, and he had a pen and wrote out the lyrics like this. And I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? And then when he sang them and it was finished and we listened, and I sent it off to everybody, you know,
Done.
Yeah, it was like, that's got to be the title track. and Eddie immediately was like, this is what the artwork should be.
Yeah.
And so he gave us the idea, you know, and we relayed that idea to Scott. Yeah. And Scott just like, he brought it, you know, big and time. It was like, that's it. And oh my gosh, when you guys see the artwork that he did for the centerpiece of the CD and the album, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
but
not the
oh
centerpiece.
My gosh,
that's fair, not merch so right there.
Cool.
Sunsets on this field of sorrow, no tomorrow, I know. Sun rises on this field of sorrow, tomorrow I saw.
What I loved about the cover, if I may, and of course, we all love Scott's work. What I thought interesting, there's this, you know, the color scheme, and there's just cracked earth, right? And things are, for the most part, there's a lot of almost monotone going on. And then we get to this green plant that's shooting up from this earth. That shadow of the cross is overshadowing that plant. And to me, that symbolizes being born again, the rebirth through Christ.
And, that's it.
Yeah.
we were hoping that people would get that, you know, and see that. That's new life right there.
That's
and it's
right.
Hard. It was really hard to, with a concept like that, you're really not sure if somebody's going to get something like that. And just like, man, it's just such a minute, but probably the most important thing on that whole album cover.
You guys craft a stinking heavy song, and then you also have this wonderful sense of melody that you retain within your choruses. How hard is it to make it all happen and bring it all together? Because you guys do live apart.
For me, it's really easy since I have the studio at my house.
Right.
And but everybody has the ability, you know, to record. And so Rod has a studio at his place, or at least he has the interface and stuff to do things. And Gary, he's got the hookup out there. I mean, this guy knows everybody as far as, you know, being able to get incredible drum tracks played out. And Chris and I, we work so well together that he'll just fly out, and we'll just go in there and we'll spend 3 days just in there, just
not even walk out almost.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like I will fly in there on like Thursday night, or, you know, sometimes Friday, and then we won't see the sun until, and it's like time just, you know, you wake up Sunday morning and, you know, we'll go to Larry's on the worship team at his church. We'll go there, but you're sitting there the whole time just going, man, this has gone by so fast that it's just, I mean, it's almost like a time warp or something.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, basically I did all the engineering on it. And Kyle, he's such a humble guy, you know, cause I hit him up and I'm like, Kyle, you know, cause there's things that I want to do and pursue. Right. So I'm like, Kyle, would you mind if I, put my name down on credits for engineering? And he's like, dude, you put your name as producer. He goes, you did that. He goes, I did, you know, his thing is, I did what I did. I brought the songs to life. You know, you recorded everything. You worked these songs out. You just sent them to me. And I just, you know, he brings so much to us. I couldn't do what he does. I don't know how to get tones like he does. You know, I don't know how to mix. I don't know how to master. That guy is a genius. Not only that, but he's added so much undertones to these songs that that just make it huge, right? Like he'll add little guitar parts in there, like underneath, and then he'll call me back and he'll go, "Hey man, did you like that?" And I'm like, "There's nothing that you do that I don't like."
Yeah, he's
You know,
like the sixth member.
Yeah,
Keyboard parts, percussion parts.
he's so humble. I mean, and he's a genius. He really is.
Your phone's moving.
Yeah, it's a little windy and a little.
There goes Gary again.
I got a question. So does Eddie write most of the lyrics?
Eddie writes all of the lyrics.
Yep.
Well, and I want to say one thing about him. I wish he was here, but I've listened to both the EP for The Wounded Heart and these 8 tracks that you guys sent me. And nothing against you at all, Larry. You're awesome vocalist too, but Eddie's voice just matches the music perfectly. I mean,
Thank you.
We agree
with that.
It's just a perfect match. I mean, I can't imagine anything different, really. It's just, I wish he was here because I would tell him that too. But the vocals are unbelievable. I mean, it's just incredible.
Please, if you ever see him, or if you ever do it, invite him on or whatever, please just tell him that, because we tell him that all. He killed it on this album, man. Yeah. I could not have done what he did. There's no way. I mean, I was blessed enough to be able to do some singing on it, but there's no way I could have done that. And and the lyrical content that he brings to this band, I'm telling you, in this time right now, it's a divine appointment. At such a time as this, Eddie is supposed to be here and in this band. And I know there's some people that they want the old school Fear Not. I get it. I get it. I mean, I wish I was young again and able to do the things I did back then, but that's not where we're supposed to be right now. That's not what we're meant to be right now. And Eddie Green is supposed to be in this band, and he is in this band, and he's a part of Fear Not, and he brings so much to the table, and I am honored that he is in this band and doing what he's doing. And he's humble, and he's just great. We love him. So thank you for that.
And when you see us play live, you're gonna know another reason why Eddie's in the band. His onstage anointing, his ability to see the needs in the crowd and to reach out and to pray and to bring the gospel. He brings the gospel fearlessly and in just a great way. In your face, because that's our music's in your face. So when you go to a Fear Not show, you're going to hear the gospel, and you're going to hear our hearts, you're going to hear our struggles, you're going to hear what's going on in our life honestly, and Eddie's amazing. So we're looking forward to playing live this summer a lot. And anyone out there that hears this, it's going to be July 9th, I guess, when we hear this. We'll be ready and primed for the Ohio show. We'll probably have a couple of little shows under our belts, and we're ready to play. We're looking for places to play. We're praying that God opens the doors for us to really make the most of this record and make the most of the talents that he's given us.
So I just wanted to say, in regard to this album, or what I've heard of it so far. So a big question for me going into this was, what are these new vocals going to be like? Because on the old original Fear Not album, you know, Larry, you really brought it back then, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many great things about that album, but the vocals were certainly a big part of it. And so that is a question I had going in, you know, would the vocals stack up? And, you know, there's really a lot about this album that's really, really great. And I'm gonna say some more about that. But I was very, very impressed with the vocals. And so I was very happy that, you know, I was not disappointed by that at all. And you and Eddie working together, I think, just makes it better. But Eddie's ability to, you know, do everything from a melodic rock sound, great catchy choruses, to tones that at times almost are reminiscent of death metal, growling and stuff like that. You know, I mean,
no rules, baby.
There's an incredible range there. I think it might have been the song Voluntary Madness, that at times he almost reminded me of Mike Lee from Barren Cross, with some of the sounds he was getting out there.
Wow. Okay.
But, you know, so yeah, duly impressed with the vocals for sure. The album in itself, I think, is just a wonderful, wonderful melding of the great melodic structures and courses that you guys had back in the day, along with some of these really more modern, heavy grooves, you know, that we would get from more modern rock sounds. And it all just works together wonderfully. And, you know, subject matter being, I mean, I haven't seen the lyrics yet, but just from what I'm getting from my ear, you know, sounds like it deals with some really real stuff, you know.
Yeah.
We're not talking about fluffy stuff here. We're talking about real down and dirty real life. And so I appreciate that as well. And I just, you know, so right now I guess I've heard about 2/3 of this album, and I'm incredibly impressed. And another thing that really impressed me is the fact that the first time I listened to this, I already found myself singing along to these songs.
Oh, wow.
And that doesn't happen real often. It usually takes me a while to get to that. You know, I mean, they're that good that they just, you know, brought that about instantly. So.
It gets stuck in my head, Mike, and I was telling Larry, I wish I could get Field of Sorrow out of my head, because it was like, they get haunting to me.
Yeah. That's a really good thing though, man. That's a huge sign and a huge compliment. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations, you know, of how do you think people are going to perceive it? You know, I mean, you've been gone for so many years, you know, and then all of a sudden God brings you back into this, and you know, the EP did, you know, what I thought was okay. You know, I don't know really how well it actually did. I don't know. But we had, I think most of the response was good, but, you know, we had some negative, which is, you're going to get that all the time anyways. You know, you can't please everyone. Well, but, and we're okay with that, you know?
Yeah.
But we had the conversations of, you know, because there was no law or no rules in the writing of these songs. You know, it wasn't like we're going to pick a style and that's what we do. It was just like whatever came out. So we were concerned about that. Like, how would people react? Because to us, they're like, you hear Beautifully Broken, and then you hear Voluntary Manslaughter, you know, or, I mean,
Manslaughter.
Madness.
You were acquitted, Larry.
That's the new B-side.
Thank you.
You were
Jesus.
acquitted.
You know, I wasn't.
Shine your light into my soul.
so it's nice to be able to hear that people are hearing a cohesiveness to it, and that, you know, it's cool. So thank you for that.
To Mike's point, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Beautifully Broken is such an awesome song. I mean, that should be a single that gets out there far and wide. That is such an awesome song. Yeah.
You've heard that a few times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to Mike's point, guys, I'm sitting here at work the other day and at the firehouse, and we have morning chores, and I'm vacuuming the floors, and I'm singing the chorus to Riptide, or I'm singing the melody to Voluntary Madness. You know, the list goes on. That's why I said this is an instant classic, because when you can hear something for just a time or two, and then you can hum a few bars of something that you barely even heard, so to speak, that's what you want. That's that ear candy. That's that hook that grabs you.
We have such a habit of going to God when things are going awry, right? Or if we're struggling with something, and we go, okay, God, you know, I'm bringing this to you, and I'm just putting it down. I'm laying it at your feet, right? But how many times do we do that? And, you know, we turn around and we leave, and somehow maybe we got a string tied to that stuff, and it just follows us right away from the altar, you know. But this song is really about that. It's about, like, really just, we're laying it down. You know, here it is, God. Boom, everything that we got
Leave
here.
it at the foot of the cross.
Yep.
And I think for me too is that I think sometimes we lay it down, but we don't lay it all down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We lay down, okay, well, this part I can keep because it's really not bothering me right now, but I'm gonna lay this down. So that song is more about laying it all down, laying it, you know, everything, so that we can be clean and go on and be used by God.
And, you know, it kind of what Mike was saying, this whole album seems to deal with some real stuff. And I just wrote down my little side note for it. It's about the baggage of life. And there's kind of
exactly it.
That's kind of like a general theme for this whole album, is all this baggage the world is offering us, whether it's through voluntary madness, you know, the abuse of some substances, the liquid madness and all.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anyway, Black Soul Sunshine, you know, the strains and worries of the world, and it's a call for help.
Most of the songs that we've heard, there's only a couple that are just a little bit lighter, but the album is just heavy. It's right where personally I like that kind of music. It's not too heavy.
Well, I'll tell you,
Thank you.
we saved a couple surprises, and I think the surprises are two of the songs that Chris wrote. I'm not sure if you guys got those. And I wanted to save those on purpose, just because I just wanted you guys to hear these, because when he brought these ideas to me, I was blown away. And if I could, he flew out because we had to finish these two last songs, and so Chris came out, and I'm like, Chris, I want two of your songs. I want two of your songs, because this guy is a great songwriter too.
Oh, that's good.
And so he brought in this idea, and he starts laying the main riff down, and he's just like, I don't know, Larry. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know about it. And I'm like, Chris, trust me, this song is amazing, you know? And so he finally finished it up. I was fortunate enough to be able to add some guitar parts and stuff to it, you know?
Yes,
and
you did.
And
Changed the face of it.
it came alive, you know?
Yeah.
And then Eddie's lyrics.
Oh man.
And stuff. And that's another thing, like, you know, what, like Chris had this idea of the title, and he's like, I don't know what it is about this. I don't know. Into the Grave. Is that too, I don't know.
Well,
but it's like, yeah, dude. And but anyways, we wanted to save those. And as far as melodic or a little slower tempo, that, you know, we hope that there's another surprise on there that everybody will latch on to too.
So, Chris, you wrote Into the Grave. Which one was the other one that you were the primary writer of? Was it American Prayer?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have that?
Well, no, what I've done, Larry, is I had to do my research, buddy, because I'm like, okay, you know, Fear Not sent us an 8-song preview, and I'm like, I'd be willing to bet that there's more than just 8. So all that I did was I went to the Rocks page, and because again, I pre-ordered the album today, and I noticed that there were 12 songs, and it has the titles listed: Into the Grave, American Prayer, God's Country, and then the reprise To Carry Me.
Yep.
So those are the 4 extra songs.
Yep.
And I thought it neat. I was going to ask you. We don't have to get into all the songs or whatever. So many great songs. I mean, Riptide. My gosh, that's a catchy chorus. Of course, I love Struggle. Your all's first single. I do want to ask you 2 things though. I would like to ask you, number one, what was the reason for? And you guys put such a great stamp on this classic. Join together with the band, including that in the song listing. What was the catalyst for that? And then the other thing was, I'd like for you to tell us about the catalyst for making the reprise song To Carry Me For the Wounded Heart.
I've always been a big fan of that song Join Together, you know, and I just felt, you know, it had come across my mind, and I had just thought, what a great song. And the whole idea about it was, you know, playing that song live. That was the whole thing about that song. And it's the whole theme of it is join together. We need to unite. We need to become united again and unified, and you know, of just the whole body of Christ, and just encouraging one another and being there for one another, you know. And really that was just the premise of doing that song, you know. And I brought the idea to the guys, and they're like, yeah, cool, you know. And I had heard this other version of it, and I go, that's how I want to do the song. You know, it's heavier. You know, it still has the whole structure and the layout of the original, but you know, we kind of added our stamp to it. Yeah. You know, we took the idea of the remake of the remake or whatever, and just kind of added our stamp to it. Yeah. And so that was really for the live purpose of that. And just thought it would be such a cool, fun thing to do, you know. And, you know, as a musician, you have, your mind goes out way bigger than who knows what God's going to do, but you imagine, 1,000 people, you know what I mean? Singing that song, or.
Yeah, it's a familiar song. And like, if you're right in the middle of a set, you whip out a song like that everybody knows. It's just, it's, hey, all right.
Yeah.
And I think I see it too, is that we did a block party concert with Chaotic Resemblance and a few other bands, and we had some people come on stage with us. El Victoria came on stage, and Travis came on stage with us to do We Have a God. And those were just like, when I look back at the video, those are really magical times where the bands of the day are coming out and getting all together. And I just envision, joined together. I envision having the lead singers from all the bands on that day of the festival standing on stage singing Join Together in harmony, and along with the crowd. It's to me, it just gives me chills to think about, because that really brings the difference between Christian festivals and the camaraderie that we have with the other bands. Yeah. And it gives us a chance it just opens up a door to say, hey guys, everybody knows this song. I mean, Join Together. Let's come on stage and sing it with us. And I just vision that, or even our friends. I mean, we've had our really good, like, Oklahoma road crew / street team / amazing musicians come on and sing We Have a God with us too. Or no, Don't Want None. Yeah. So, I mean, I love to open up the stage. I love to see that. Eddie loves it. Eddie's the humblest guy. He'll hand his mic to anybody. And it's neat. That's what I envision too.
Well, I think that Who song, it's a little bit of a deep cover, but when you play it or hear it, it's a instant grabs you. And I love the intro. I don't know who thought about the intro is different, and you're not sure at first what's going on here, what song that is, maybe if you're just hearing it for the first time, but then it gets into the familiar part. But that's just, I love that your version of that Who song. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
Thanks. Guitar playing's amazing on it too, by the way, Chris.
Man.
Yeah.
And Larry.
And Rod with his pulsing bass at the forefront of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, Rodrigo.
Guys, what was the catalyst for the reprise then? And it's a full song. I mean, according to the time track stamp on it, it looks to be a full song. Carry Me, the reprise. What's the catalyst for bringing the reprise over from Fields of Sorrow, or For the Wounded Heart?
So really, so what that is the remake of Carry Me that we did a year ago or so.
Yeah, a year ago. A little over a year.
I don't know if you've heard the orchestral version.
I know that there's a Rocks Productions, I think, has put a video out on YouTube. I'm just familiar with the original version on For the Wounded Heart.
Okay, so there's an orchestral version that we had done. There was a really good friend of Eddie's here in Oklahoma, and this guy was a really big fan of Eddie's old band, Even the Dogs. And he had
Lou Gehrig's
disease.
Yeah, he had Lou Gehrig's disease. And so when the EP came out, Carry Me had become like his all-time favorite song. And just shortly after that, Sean had passed. And what one of his requests was to have Eddie sing that, at his funeral. And Eddie called me up and he says, hey, Larry, can you just record an acoustic part of that song, so I could sing it and record it, because he goes, I won't be able to sing this live at his funeral. I won't be able to do it. So we were just going to, cut a real stripped down version of it, and he was going to play it there. And then unfortunately, this was during the COVID, right? And I had actually, within just days, gotten over having COVID, and I had got it pretty good. I had gotten the pneumonia part of it and everything, and so I was just like healing up, and I'm like, I went in there and attempted, and I'm like, man, it's just not working, And Eddie's like, okay, I have another idea. He goes, let's just send the idea to Kyle and see what he can do. And so Kyle just stripped the original song down, because he still had all the original tracks. He stripped it down and created this, what I consider a masterpiece of just this orchestral, what do you call arrangement? Yeah, orchestral arrangement. Sorry. Yeah, and it turned out amazing.
Carry me now, carry me now. I can't do this without you. Carry me now, carry me now.
We had lost a number of people, recently. So our idea was to, add that song to the record and just dedicate this record to those that we lost during this time.
Is there an official version of that orchestra arrangement that you're referring to, Larry, that can be purchased anywhere? Do you guys have that, or?
Yeah,
It's on
I
Spotify.
believe you can go to Spotify and get it.
It's on Apple Music. It's on Google
Okay.
Play.
Okay. All right.
It's out there for sale right now.
Okay. Cool.
Guys, we have different seasons in life, and my first initiation to Fear Not was in the spring season, and I love spring for various reasons, and I love the fall for various reasons, and the summer and the winter, all for various reasons. But there's an evolutionary process, if you know, in the correct terminology of it all, through the seasons. And here's the neat thing is we're just in a different frame. It can't always stay spring. I want the crispness and coolness and the beautiful colors of the leaves in the fall, just like I like the new green of the spring. And here's my point is we're just in a different time period with production values and stuff. Like the music in general is different, and there is modern production out there now, and guys are drop D tuning and all this kind of stuff where that didn't used to be such a regular thing. But here's the point is, guys, you guys are perfect right now. God is using you, and the songs are fantastic. They're stinking heavy. They have this wonderful melodic chorus to each one of them. And Eddie Green is the perfect man to be in there. And you guys it's so wonderful to have the band still together, and it's just a different season is all, but it's wonderful. And that's all I want to say about it.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Ken, just one thing to say to you. You only love winter because you don't live where I do.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Well, and to Kent's point too about all that, and I think I told you guys that when you were asking us about the songs ahead of time, you know, to me, I kind of call this Fear Not 2.0. Just, you know, you're back again. It's better than ever. And yeah, no one is going to be disappointed with this album. I can tell you that.
Not at all. So friends, once again, by the time this airs, the new album, Fields of Sorrow, will have released. It just dropped on the street the one day prior, this last Friday. This will be a Saturday when it releases. So the release date is July the 8th. This will be July the 9th. So go get the new Fear Not album. Like Rex said, you won't be disappointed. It's at roxrecords.com, ROXX records.com. And you can also find Worley burritos in your grocer's freezer. So be sure and get some of those.
Nobody can eat just one.
Yeah.
Man.
Fear Not, guys. Thank you for being our guest today, for blessing us. What else would you all like to say about what's going on with you?
Anybody?
Do you have any touring plans? I know Gary had mentioned that, you know, there's some things lined up. Are you gearing up for that somewhat, or what's that looking like?
We're gearing up for it for sure.
We have what they say, wars and rumors of war. So we have those wars like the Ohio that's amazing. If you could pray for this is an idea, and I'm going to throw it out there so it doesn't die of loneliness and that the whole world could hear it. That concert in Ohio, I don't know how it came about, whether it was the promoter's like complete idea and brainchild to do this, or these were just bands he loved. But it's getting so much. I mean, that thing's going to sell out, I believe. We're pretty sure the hotels are selling out. And I mean, Versailles, you know, it's not easy to get to. It's not, you know, it's not Cincinnati or anyway. But what we would love to see happen, we would love to see, you know, somebody who wants to promote this, that sponsors that we could come up with. We'd love to take a portion of this lineup, or maybe the whole lineup, but at different venues, different portions of it. And we love to take that thing nationwide. Yeah. I mean, have that immortal tour, you know, have Daniel Band and Petra and Barren Cross and White Cross and Bloodgood. I mean, have those bands and us, Fear Not, of course. Fear Not.
Some of the newer bands.
Yeah. And some of I mean, there's just everyone on that, just that whole group, that the whole buzz that it's getting. We'd love to see that become a national tour, maybe similar to like the Rock and Roll Roadshow or
Winter Jam.
And just have it like a 5-song, each band does 5 songs, a quick 15-minute turnaround between bands, and have 5-6 bands, and do arenas around the country. That would be amazing. We'd love to see the resurgence of this music on real radio, on having not just podcasts and
not
internet radio.
That we don't mind doing this.
We love it. No disrespect at all. And then the other thing is too, is that we are definitely interested in playing and getting out there. Like I say, we have the 2 that we know of, but there's some other concerts, a couple in California that we're excited to see them happen. One in Texas that we're looking forward to, a couple small warm-up gigs in Oklahoma. Nothing that we can officially share, but our website, please go friend our website, hit us up on Instagram. The more support we get on those, the more likely we're to get hired. And as Fear Not, we're called to go to the world.
That Versailles package is incredible. Me here in lowly Arkansas, I'm just jonesing to see you guys when you come to Harrison. But Larry, don't you and Stacy Roberts of the Brave aren't y'all collaborating on some stuff? And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, baby.
in conjunction with that, to me, in my humble opinion, and there's a lot of other great bands too that are releasing albums, but the comeback of Fear Not is to me a big thing and incredible, especially after you guys really did bring it. The Lord has taken care of you guys in the music department there, in the lyric department.
Man, it is God.
But the other, you know, so this is your guys' year. 2022 is the comeback year of Fear Not, because your album's fixing to drop. 2021 was the comeback of The Brave with their incredible Garden. And they're going to be releasing Gravedigger. I'd love to see Fear Not and The Brave do some gigs together. But what do you and Stace have that you're collaborating on, Larry?
Well, it's really, I know Stacy will tell you it's, you know, really a partnership between him and I, but Stacy had a vision and he still has a vision. And, you know, he just approached me and said, look, I'd love to do an album with you and write some songs and just put it out there, you know? And so he has sent me over a couple songs so far. I've got a couple ideas that I'm going to be sending his way. And so Stacy's really the one behind this whole thing. He's going to produce it. He's going to mix and master it. The guy's so talented, you know. So the plan is to do a full album, you know, and put it out there, and just, you know, again, it's just, you know, whatever comes about, you know. We don't really have no rhyme or reason other than we just love each other, and we're just like, let's get together and write some songs and put it out there, you know. You know, I'd love to see, you know, everybody do stuff like that. I know Chris has got, you know, he knows everybody, seriously, you know. You know, so he's got some opportunities coming, you know, and so anyways, yeah. So we're planning on writing some songs and hopefully put out an album. And
what I wouldn't give to see the Brave Fear Not tour.
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
We have
Brave Fear Not.
Guardian as the opening act.
Oh, dude.
What did you say, Gary?
Love that.
I said we could have Guardian as the opening act.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
he is kidding, because
that would never happen.
yeah, well, obviously we have, and he's just joking, because we have nothing but the utmost respect for them, because they're so,
Yeah, they're
Well,
amazing.
sure.
I went to go see Stryper the other night, and Jamie Rowe got up and opened acoustically
Yeah.
and killed it. Absolutely killed it, man.
Yeah.
They still, I mean, and
Oh,
Tony
that
was
guy's
just
got
like, oh yeah, that band back in the day, I mean, and still.
Jamie's
amazing.
fixing to release a new album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel, guys, like, you know, now, of course, here we go, but what is music today? I mean, and I know music is relative. There's no right or wrong, but I do want to say that I really feel, though, that the stuff that you guys brought 30 years ago is actually, people are saying, man, we need this back. And I feel like it is back, you know, and more power to you, you know, and I just wish the Lord's blessings upon you guys. And I know that he has blessed you all with some incredible songs on this new album.
Well, we're huge fans of you guys, and thank you so much for having us on. I mean,
Thank you,
honestly,
guys. And
Thank you.
In the spirit of you guys releasing this new album after almost 30 years, I went to Isaiah 43:19, which says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." So,
wow.
you know, we've kind of had all these years where music wasn't so good, and now you guys are back, so it works.
wow.
Man, thank you for that, brother.
That was that was Isaiah what?
That was Isaiah 43:19.
43:19.
Yep. That is just
Awesome.
amazing.
Thank you, sir.
thank you guys for blessing us again.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having us on. Thank you for all your support, man.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it means the world.
It does. It really does.
Yep.
Well, Larry, I just want you to know that Ken here says you're welcome. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you all so much. Friends, we'll say goodbye. Rocksrecords.com is where you get the new Fear Not album, Fields of Sorrow. Thank
Yes,
you all
sir.
for watching. Fear not, guys. Please stick around for one more moment when we sign off.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, brother.
Peace.
Love you guys. Peace.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Area 312 Podcast. And my co-host Rex and Mike and I are welcoming a band, 3/5 of the band that we. Gary, where'd you go, man? We just got started.
Sorry, brother. I'm coming back.
That's okay. I'll just restart. I'll restart. Take two.
Good start, bro.
Hold on. Let me take Gary's name in vain real quick. No. All right.
Good one. I approve.
Hello, friend.